The summer months are a busy time at Jacksonville's 2 oceanfront parks, but human activity is not the only activity you will encounter there. Sea turtles also call them home during their nesting season, and at Huguenot Park it has been an especially busy season.
Turtle nesting season starts the 1st of May and it goes through October 31st. We have 3 species of turtle that typically use Hanna Park and Huguenot Park beaches: the loggerhead, the green, and the leatherback. And so they each have different time frames of nesting. So if you add all of those up, it takes us to October 31st.
Tracking the activity of the sea turtles during their long nesting season is a tough job.
What we do on the beach is we walk every day. Once May 1st starts, we start walking the beach every day. And we are looking for either signs of nesting, which would be sea turtle tracks and obvious digging for a nest, and then we'll mark those. And then as the season progresses, we also start looking for any evidence of emergence of the hatchlings. We also look for predation or any kind of signs of the nest being disturbed so that we can keep track of that.
Another important part of keeping track of turtles during their nesting season is reporting the findings to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission so they can track the population of turtles. This requires that a nest be opened to gather the important data.
When a turtle lays a nest, we typically will dig into that. That's called verifying the nest, and we just dig until we see evidence of an egg and we know that is a nest. We cover it back up, we mark it, and we protect where it is. So we want to make sure it's a nest and we protect it. It's not a false crawl, which is when a female comes up and she may do a U-turn, she may start digging and then change her mind. There's lots of reasons why, possible reasons why they decide not to do it. So we don't mark the false crawls, we only mark the nests. And then it takes between 55 and 70 days for loggerheads and greens to incubate long enough for the hatchlings to go from egg to baby turtle. Once it hits day 55, we start checking for evidence of emergence out of the nest. Once we see an emergence, usually there's a big hole and you can see lots of baby turtle tracks, which is really cool. So once we see the emergence, then we wait at least 72 hours to make sure everything has hatched out of the nest, and then we do an inventory. And this is important because then we know how many eggs were laid, how many hatchlings emerged, and if there was any other problems in the nest. So we're getting counts of how many babies are actually making it to the water, because there are percentages of how many hatchlings it takes to make one turtle to adulthood. For instance, I believe loggerheads are 1 in 1,000 hatchlings make it to adulthood. So knowing how many hatchlings we have, helps us know how the species is doing overall.
Despite efforts, turtles' numbers still continue to decline. But as Shelley explains, it is still extremely important to resist the urge to interfere with the turtles during their trek to and from the ocean.
It's really important to remember, not just for hatchlings, but turtles in general. If you see a sea turtle on the beach, they're there for a reason. So you need to not disturb, she has a purpose. She's coming to lay eggs, so you need to let her do that. Something else to remember about hatchlings, assisting them from the nest to the water is not actually helping them. Hatchlings need to imprint on the beach. So walking on the beach is important because they need to make their way from the nest to the ocean so they can imprint on their home beach. These beachfront parks are very important to the public of Jacksonville. They provide not only a place for recreation and conservation, but it's a place for people to interact and see how important the beach is for other species. So this 2.5 miles of beach from Huguenot and Hanna Park are utilized every year by sea turtles. We have between approximately 25 to 50 nests on both of our beaches every year, which is a significant amount. That's easily 2 or 3 hatchlings to adulthood. So providing this space not only for the turtles, but for people to see that these beaches are important, not just for us, but for the animals, is key for conservation and also just an appreciation of what we've got here.